Okay. Let me just get my live stream shared. Get shareable link. Here we are. Throw that in the Discord. Oh, it's already in there. Nice. Okay, so what I'm planning on doing is working on this project here. It's a little bit of an old project, and I've shown this off on stream before, this project, but I've been working on it this afternoon, and I've really been updating it, mainly the first and second drop here, this part mainly. This is completely different now. I read it kick and bass here, and overall removed a lot of the old synths, a lot of the old sounds that were in there, and I'm going to replace them with new ones. So quickly just play it so you guys can hear the track itself, and so that people can come in and join in. Malogify and Klaus, as always, the first to arrive. How are you doing, guys? Nice to see you. My volumes are a little bit loud here. Hope I'm well too. Yes, I am. Intro sounds very bland, I would say. First 24 bars. It's basically just pads. It doesn't really have anything in there, I would say. Hello, MindB. How are you doing? I'm doing well, thank you for asking. I think... Oh, here we still have one more lead. Somebody's getting angry outside. This lead used to be in a Euclidean rhythm, and I changed it to a normal one because I just thought that it was confusing, like on its own. Because before it was a background sound, and now that's in the foreground, it doesn't really work. Here I removed all of the leads. The build here is a little bit strange sounding. This snare just kind of comes in.
This is our show, where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
And then it goes into offbeat.
The problem was not the physical. The problem was a spiritual crisis. A spiritual crisis.
Did a very cool fill there where just suddenly everything stops.
I can't even describe the anguish of the soul. You know, you read about the Black Knight soul. It was like that.
Nice aggressive lead here. Then here again the break is going to be fairly boring, I think. There's a little bit of a baseline in here. Oh yeah. Again, not so much going on in the break. I need to find some cool main elements for there. Don't really know what I want to do there yet.
Lost in thought. That's the human condition, human condition, human condition, human condition, human condition.
Here again it goes into that same sound. I'm not 100% sold on this lead here. If I have the non-rendered version somewhere, I might re-import it. It's maybe a little bit too glitchy for what I'm after.
Where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
Want to do more with this sound. This is the first part where that sound comes in, but I like it. So we're going to have that more throughout the track. Yeah, I'm going to be adding a lot of new leads. There's sections that just have nothing. This is much of the same stuff. Let's see if we first can maybe work this one in here. I'm thinking maybe before the build-up. I think I want to have some nice and strong full-on leads in this section. I do want this track to be a little bit more full-on style than that I'm used to. So I'm going to go a little bit out of my comfort zone, I guess. What I want to see is rendered. It's only groups, is it? These are all of the pad groups, I think. Right? Recorded pad groups, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe this lead was made from a group. That would be nice. Let's see what's in here. It's a group inside a group. Kind of large unison lead. Well, that was the lead that was in there before. So I probably won't go for that. That's the lead that I removed. Oh, yeah, this is atmosphere stuff. All atmosphere stuff. I think I might need to remake something like this then. There's like a beat repeat on there, and I don't like that. So let's see if I know what to do here. Sounds like there's some nice modulation on there with like a phaser. So that's where I want to start. Phaser. So this is an A sharp. 3 times, and then it goes up once. These two are up, one of them is longer. So all of these are short sounds, short stabby sounds, except for this one. So let's make an oscillator for ourselves, and let's listen to this one as well. I think the way that I want to do this is I want an LFO in here, so I can turn this depth down and manually modulate the filter cutoff. That way I can set this to a synchronized mode. I think 16. I want no trigger. Never. Let's have a listen and continue this. Is this one different from here? I think it's the same melody. There's no way that I'm going to know what that melody is. Give me a second here. So that's a G sharp. What's this then? This is a B. That makes no sense. That doesn't sound like the same melody to me. In Melodyne you can make the MIDI in a few seconds, yeah, but Melodyne is too expensive. Let me just cut out this part here and see if we can have Ableton find it out. Please. There we are. This seems like it makes as little sense as what I was doing. This one definitely doesn't go up. Studio One is Melodyne included. Okay. Well, how expensive is Studio One? It's going to be the same issue, isn't it? let's leave it like it is, like this. It's close enough in terms of the melody. Now I want that kind of open feeling, I would say. So I feel a little bit of grittiness, which I want to get from tables, user, here. I have a saw wave that is randomized, I think. Let me see, do I have that? Saw randomized, yes. Nice, let's see. That's a good start. This one is very peaky and filtered. It's not just one phaser. I think what's happening is there's a distortion on it. And then a filter before. And then this is probably mixed with a dry version. So let's have a mix here, and then let's have an auxiliary here. And we can send that to here. No? Ah, no, wait. Like this. Here, there. This is how you set up a mix in this way. Also feel like we need to lower the sustain a little bit, lower the decay a lot. Are getting somewhere here. Let's turn up chaos, let's turn up smooth here. And then let's randomize the random value here. Again, also smooth. This will create very nice randomness if you do it like this. You do have to tame it a little bit. You can basically set how fast you want the randomness to go. Obviously don't want it to go too fast. But this gives you two very nice random signals to use. So we can add both of them together. And again, we don't want any node triggering here. Bit of spread in there. Okay, so that's not the right place. I'm getting a lot of rumble from that. That's not what we want. I would love it if there was an asymmetrical distortion in here, but I guess there isn't. We can see if we can make one with Wave Shaper. You know what? Let's actually go for a multiband Wave Shaper. I'm feeling like doing some complex stuff. Okay, so go into the edits. I guess I'll go for 3 bands. Make sure that they're not linked, and I want to strongly distort the high end here. And in here I just want a little bit of asymmetric distortion to get a little bit of nice saturation out of there. Oh. Yeah. So something asymmetric will do the job, will give us saw harmonics. And then here let's make sure that it's 100% wet. Give it a lot of input and then a lot of output as well. Now I'm feeling the phaser a little bit too much, so I'm going to mix that in. Maybe higher. This one is missing the gritty high ends that I want, the gritty, almost like noise part. I'm going to send this to lane 2 and we can get some distorted noise in there. Noise, and then we want a sine wave for the distortion. We want this to get distorted together. As you can see, that creates a very gritty kind of sound. Let's set no bias, a little bit low on the mix. And then we want to high pass this to remove that sine wave again. What this does is it cross modulates the noise with the sine wave. And you get something like that, which right now doesn't sound nice. Let's actually remove the Q and get like something like that. Obviously that's way too loud. Isn't this going to... Oh, I want this to lane 3. We can shape this as we want. Probably a little bit of distortion on this one as well. Okay, and then we put them in reverb together. Still very loud. Because of that distortion, it becomes very, very loud. Maybe the reverb after. Okay, so the reverb, I would like that to maybe only be on the noise then. Okay, so now we're getting a very strong sound of that. How do I handle this? Oh, I can just do it like this. No attack. And then use this on the gain here. This noise sounds a lot cleaner, right? A lot nicer, I would say. Maybe we just do saw waves, so no noise. And then we unison the saw wave, hard on saw. Detune. Why no unison? remove that. I think this sounds nicer. This doesn't have that modulated kind of feel. Maybe we can do another. Let's do a flanger. No rate. No motion. Okay, a bit of motion maybe. Or can we do the offset? Yes, that's nice. I believe if we just do like a ramp up, set that to the offset all the way, and then have the offset all the way down. Obviously, again, no trigger. And then we set this to very long value of like 32/4. I think that's a nice lead sound. I think that's a good lead sound, and it is a little bit more versatile now that I have a sound in MIDI. And it doesn't have that glitchiness in there. That means that we can delete this one. No longer need it. I no longer want it. I will do a little bit of OTT on there. For this part, I want a modulation on this thing, please. Oh, what would be cool is maybe to remove from the MIDI here. Let's combine these two. Remove all of the melody part and just have the melody itself just, or the rhythm itself just kind of continue. And then we can turn that into a build-up by going up an octave, like this. Something like that. Obviously with some more effects added to it, it will sound a lot better. Also we need to introduce it here, as now it just starts. So we'll probably have a little bit of a fill element here, but it's mainly going to go lower. Let's have this guy skew down a lot. That sounds nice. I also want to start adding leads here, because that was the main thing that I wanted to do. Because this is maybe something that I need help with, because I'm not that great at doing a lot of different full-on leads, right? My sound design is very, very progressive. Even this lead, I would say, is very tame if you look at it from a full-on context, I would say. So here we let the listener get used to the kick and bass with the new hi-hat, which is the first time this open hi-hat plays. So from here on we're going to add a whole bunch of extra leads. kind of gradually sequence up in there. So let's see what we can do. Vital. Let's see, I need to get some kind of very strong, aggressive wavetable to start with. Maybe this one. Or are these all for bass? No, right? Is my open hi-hat tuned? No. Is that a problem? I never tune my open hi-hat. Only snares and sometimes the kick. When you say tune, do you mean tune by the actual frequency to the key, or just tune it to make sure that the frequencies that sit in there fall nicely with the track? Do you like actually look at the key of a bunch of noise? Right, because it doesn't really have a key, it's noise. But it has little spikes in here, like using this spike here. This one is obviously not in key, the track itself is an A sharp and this is F. So that doesn't really align. Oh. It switches around my placement if you exit out of a track that has something open like that, it switches around the placement, which is very, very annoying. No, you tune by ear. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, please. Name. Let's start here. Maybe a little bit high in the octave here. Okay, let's see this one. Not really getting what I'm looking for. Let's see if I can make something myself. I'm looking for something a little bit more gritty, a little bit more powerful, I would say. Let me just get a kind of a grist. Let's see what that is. This looks like it has some gritty frequencies in there. Now if we phase disperse. Why is this flickering? Wait, Or is that just Ableton being Ableton? I was hoping that the phase disperse would do a lot more for us. Let's turn this level down and let's turn this into a sine wave to get a little bit of a stronger sound out of that, hopefully. That's giving us. Okay, so everything above halfway gives us a nice kind of gritty tone. I can set this to sample and hold. That's nice. And now we go through like a resonant low pass filter. Maybe band pass, like this. Okay, slight chorus here. I like to do static choruses a lot. I don't like this modulated feeling. Set to ping pong mode and let's set both to dotted. And we get something like that. This level shouldn't be there. Okay, now I want a nice colorful delay. Let's go with you. I want rev forwards actually. Maybe that's all a little bit too crazy. Slight bit of all of this. That's sounding nice. What I think I'll do is group everything together in here, including this lead. Are we using this anywhere else in the track? Yeah, but that's okay. And then I'll throw everything through the same delay. That should save me a few CPU cycles and would make everything sound nice and uniform. Actually, what I can do is just move all of the processing on there as well. Go minus, let's try minus 13 here. And then we move over the delay. See if this works. I think I'll go for 2 bar or 2 beat section in there. And from here on, what we just need to do is do that process a whole bunch of times more until we fill up all of the space that we have with different sound design techniques. So I want to go with standard SSQ style FM here. which is here. I recently deleted one wavetable, so now every time it's on the other side of the menu. It used to be right up here. So I need to add one more wavetable to here, and then I should have my muscle memory back for this sound. Let's try a square. Something like this, maybe nice and metallic feeling, I think. That's an octave too high. I want this to be nice and gritty. Okay, and then I want just one big stab here to follow that up. I'm going pretty fast because I do want to lay down a few elements fairly quickly so that we at least have a basis. 77 is a nice tone. That might clash a little bit with... I think it will be okay. I think this can have a little bit more feedback actually. Does it give us numbers? It doesn't, right? Let's have a listen. Actually, I'm going to have this here, I think. I do like the sound on its own, and here it's being followed by that one. Here it's being followed by that one. And this is a little bit lower in volume as well. We can maybe even leave that lower still. For the second one, actually what I'm going to do is duplicate this and repeat it only here with a modulation on it. So this would be the modulated version. And then maybe it would be fun to go the other way in terms of the modulation here.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
This is where we go into the other drop here. We need to do a lot more on the build itself as well. Actually, I would like to have a little bit of a basis for the build here going into that. Something like a sequence or a lead. Maybe there's some good stuff in that vital pack still for sequences. Let's see what is in here. This is all dash glitch. I want to just go here. This is all sound effect sequence. Let's have a listen, Dash. It's not really what I was looking for. Also not. I'm looking for something 16 note, I guess. All three of these are set to the pitch. I think I want the pitch to be the same. Transpose, transpose, transpose. So we're going to go something like that. I would also like a little bit less distortion on this whole thing. Can maybe work with that. Maybe an octave higher.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
Obviously the delay is going to go all the way to nothing. Here.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
See, let's have the delay slow down here.
Every aspect of what it means to be human.
Okay, I want no release on there.
Every aspect of what it means to be human. Every aspect of what it means to be human.
Why does that still have output? I don't want you to have that.
Every aspect of what it means to be human.
Thank you. Okay, then I want to set the pitch bend. Here. I do think that it's probably better to go an octave lower and then pitch it up.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human. This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
I don't think I like that. It was not what I was after. Hearing it like that. I don't think I want to pitch it, first of all. So I want to make a new sequence, actually. And I'm just going to put in the MIDI notes myself. Bit of variation in here. Let's try to find a new rhythm that we haven't really used yet in a track. Until here. Let's just go with Serum and see if we can make something quick and easy with the tones back. I actually turned it up too high. Okay, we have a very high-pitched version here. I like this sound. I would like to be able to modulate this, but unfortunately I can't. Several basic shapes. I think the idea here was to do FM. like this and then change. I don't remember how I made that sound. That's the problem. Or was this the one? Wait, let me check. I think I know where this sound came from the tones back. I get myself recommended here, by the way. Let's see. I think this was from a Mute Productions video. Custom FM tones with Vital. I think this might be it, actually.
Hello everybody. So today we're going to be taking a look at how to make
The
kind
classic
of
Mute
like
Production
customizable
intro.
FM tones. So just to give some sort of background to this tutorial, essentially I was playing around with creating these sine bend type sounds, which you might not know the name of, but you will have heard them before. You just have a high-pitched sine with some sort of bend going on, and you get those kind of bubbly type sounds, or sort of lasery ones.
Can do something with
Anyways,
this as
in
well.
order to make sort of customizable ones, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set up the patch the way that is sort of most convenient, and you can just copy that and save it, and then you can just use this patch over and over again to create your own tables. Okay, so I'm just going to go initialize preset, and firstly I'm just going to set the pitch up as high as it'll go, 48. We're going to
Okay.
leave the pitch of this middle oscillator at 0, and then we're going to turn this oscillator down to minus an octave. The reason we're setting these pitches up is because we're going to be doing resynthesis, and we kind of need to tell the next oscillator what window size to use, essentially. That's not exactly what's going on, but let's pretend that's what's happening. Okay, so now easiest thing to do is just draw in your wave. I quite enjoy these out of phase square waves. They seem to make quite interesting timbres. So let's just go like this. Resynthesize, preset to wavetable. Okay, so we should now have the same thing, just
Highly
pushed
pitched.
up a few octaves. So yeah, it's
Nice.
just the same thing, just pitched up. Now what we want to do is grab bend and turn it all the way one way or the other, it's up to you, and then go over here, resynthesize, preset to wavetable, and you will get this texture in here. So we have kind of a couple different types of texture we can get out of this. If we go this way, we get a more sort of bubbly texture, or I call it that anyway. Or if we go the other way, sort of lasery. So what we can do, if we want to capture
Ooh.
everything in between as well,
That looks strange.
there's all kinds of nice tones in there. Just go over here, trigger, set this to seconds, enter value 4 seconds, because that's how long the resynthesis window is. No smooth, and then let's just set this on the bend. So now,
I can do
go
this.
here and resynthesize to wavetable. We should have a wavetable.
I think this is what I saw him do. So let's see if we can replicate it. We want a tri-saw, which he calls an out of shape or out of phase saw, but it's a saw that diverges twice, essentially. So we get 2 clicks. It still has saw wave harmonics because it's asymmetrical, but the clicks happen twice. And they're not so big because you're just clicking to the halfway. Anyway, we go up all the way, and then this one goes down. We want to resynthesize this here. Now we can go bend. Let's go all the way negative. Let's just do it like this. And Please let me enter something. 4 seconds on there, just to capture the whole modulation once. I don't need to do the modulation twice, I think. Or if we do, what I can do is this. We run through it twice, and then here we go like this, and then we can switch from bubbly to, right? No, here. We can switch from bubbly to not bubbly, or clicky, or whatever it was. Or shift this around, I should say. Does that matter? So this. I don't think that matters a lot. Maybe if we go to the halfway point, that would be interesting. Let's turn this off. Resynthesize to there. Thank you. Let's play that. Let's see what we get from there. That's a very aggressive sound. Okay. I'm going to save this as a wavetable. Can I export this? Yes. Let me export this. Going to give it a name that starts with a letter which is not later in the alphabet than S, so that my what's it called, my SSQ carrier is back in the same spot. Sure. 0.4 seconds? 4 seconds. You want to do 4 seconds to capture one resample in Vital. So cool trisaw thing. This is the wavetable that we created just now. Maybe you should do this with, let's go back. You set LFO at 0.4 seconds. Aha. That's not good. I can hear that we're getting some weird things from there. Yeah. 4 seconds. Okay. Let's turn that back on. What were the modulations again? This one went halfway. And then this one. Actually, you know what? We can just do this once. That shouldn't really matter. Right? Okay, let's resynthesize. Now actually, let's see if we can do this with a normal sine wave, because I'm getting a little bit too aggressive from this, I would say. That's pretty cool. What is maybe fun now is to do it again. Right, have another bend. Ooh. We're getting some very cool noises out of that. What if we phase this Percy? Actually, I don't like the... Something like this maybe, and then modulate this around. Let's see if we set up a slow modulation on this squeeze here. Sync. That's a nice start. One of my students is having the same issues with Vital on Linux, where the screen just kind of does weird stuff, the interface, and now it's starting for me too. Oh, I definitely don't want some distortion on here. Something like this maybe. Bit of a static course. Compressor. Sounds here again. Please, Vital, don't be like this. Yeah, it sounds very good. Very nice. I like it. I want to remove that sine wave that we're getting there. Flanger really pulls this whole stuff together. I'm going to have this thing open up over time because I don't want it to immediately start. Right, so this will be going like that. I don't want all of its high, like mid-range in there already. Add a bit of saturation to it to get it present in the mix.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human. This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
Let's phase up like here.
The problem was not the physical.
Have to go. Thank you for the great stream projector. Bye everybody. Bye Mindbee. See you next one. The build-up is very, very weak here, by the way.
Explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
I like the idea of going into that click here and then going like that. But then the build-up itself is not living up to what I want it to be. This snare sounds terrible. Let's get a better snare for that. We go tight snare maybe. A sharp one. Let's see what this sounds like. Bit more noise.
This is our
Ionic, thank you for the
explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
just passing by, I guess. Never seen the name in the
Was
chat.
not the physical.
Maybe it's a name that I don't remember.
Spirit.
Sometimes I forget names.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
Still don't get the power that I want from this. It's not wrapping. Let's turn off the OTT here. Obviously here we go everything off.
Explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
Ah, that's where we're losing all of our volume.
Explore every aspect of what it means. This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
The problem was not the physical.
I might go with some more distortion even, listening to it now. Let's see.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
Now obviously it's very loud, so we turn it down. It also means that we don't have that problem anymore of it just coming in right out of the gate.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
Nice. So I want to layer more leads on top of this. Really, this needs to be a busy part here. This part is going to be, or actually I should say this part is going to be fairly empty here because we have that long delay tail from there. And then from here on out, all kinds of FM synths and whatnot are going to be present, is the idea. Do you have a rolling kick at the very end of the build? Yes. Here it is.
Explore every.
It sounds terrible, actually. We want this to go like that. Is this the new kick? Or this is still the old kick? Ah. Let me see what this kick is. It's number 9. Okay, so go here and number 9. You there? Yes. And number 9 large.
Where we explore
Let's see if
every
it needs some
aspect of
extra
what it
dip.
means to be human.
That's already better. Yeah, I was going to say maybe bring that out more. I'm thinking actually let's do this. Let's double this in length so that it has a little bit more time to go to those frequencies there. Oh, Ableton. Why?
This is our show.
Oh, this comes from -infinity. That's very low. Let's just do that -20 dB.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
That's already a lot better, right? Part of the build-up not having the power that I want is because of the vocal that sits in there. I cannot get that vocal out of there because otherwise the track doesn't really make sense, right? Like obviously vocals are key here, But that does mean that we lose a little bit of space that we would not normally have for the build-up elements. Sorry, it's late at night. I'm not very sharp today. I'm just going to do some sound design. Do what I'm good at and impress me with my sound. Impress you with my sounds. Let's see. I feel like the delay that is on there introduces a little bit of drifting. I don't know if that's... Feels like it's slightly drifting there. And I like that, because that gives it a little bit of personality. Sometimes all you need to do is just open up one of the tones from the tones pack, add a bit of release, and then go like this. You can maybe put another thing in here. This is going to be a stab. The good thing about this whole package of different tones is that it's just so quick, right? Go like this. Done. We can have this go there and here. Maybe.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
Oh yeah, this delay obviously has to turn off here.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
I think it's become time that I answer the question that Klaus put in the chat. I think it's a no, otherwise he would have responded. My Logify tends to be very, very sharp. Maybe you went to make a tea, yeah. Speaking about tea, I should drink some iced tea. Iced tea in a Pepsi bottle. Nothing better. Okay. I need a few more elements in here, which I need to reflect in here. Which is going to be fun, because here we have these special elements, right? Which do the sweep down and up.
This is our show where we explore every aspect.
Your mom can be watching 4 live gags. Well, I'll say you one thing, that's probably more entertaining than my stream,
Was not the
but probably less educational, I would assume. Is that kind of like the home video thing, or am I totally missing the mark here? I might be missing the mark here, but I'm curious. Ah, yeah. Probably less educational than what I'm doing here, but maybe more entertaining. I saw enough. Maybe that's just cool to have it like this. add a bit of randomness in here. Maybe asymmetrical. Something like this, maybe? Ah, aha. Have it in the right key. That's always a good idea. These wavetables, all of these tones are from my tone pack. These aren't wavetables because the wavetable position does nothing, right? So this is just a single cycle. This is a pack that I made, yes. If you want to buy it, it's on my website, on my Gumroad, should be in the description. There's 2 packs. The reason for that is so that it shows up in a nice list like this and not the scrollable one. If you go more than like 130, 140 items, it will not show up in this nice list here. It will basically fill up a list like this, I think, up until here, and then it's goes to like one of those scrolling lists where you have to scroll very, very slowly to the bottom. So that's why there's 2 packs, and it's $5 per pack. So if you want both of them, it's 10 bucks. It's for very quick, very easy inspiration. Nice, nice.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
The problem was not the physical. The problem was spiritual crisis. The spiritual crisis.
I just heard something here. I want to... I want to move this here. Here, I think.
The problem was not the physical. The problem was spiritual crisis. The spiritual crisis.
Did a very cool thing here with the vocal getting distorted and everything.
I can't really describe the anguish of the soul. You know, you read about the Black Knight soul. It was like that.
Go back here. I want 2 more,
Our show
and then we should be done.
every aspect of what it means to be human.
Again, I just want a normal serum, and let's get some interesting tone again. My idea here is to do a sweep because that's not there yet. In here. Let's have the sweep sit right here. This is the one with the stab, yes, nice. Okay, this one we do want at the lower octave. Thank you. Nice kind of FM thing here. Dune are not compatible with Serum Faceband. Is there a way to convert them or to use them in any way? Yes, there is. What you do is you take that synth, specifically in Vital. I don't know for Dune, I assume there's the same thing. You go in here and you, where's editor? Export to WAV file. You use this to get standard wavetable WAV file, which you can just drop into Serum, Faceband, whatever. I don't know if there's a way to batch convert them. That would be very nice if there was a way to do that. Hold on a second here. Got a little bit too much, otherwise I'll eat all of this candy in one go. Yeah. The fuck? There was some very sticky paper in my bag of candy. That's not great. We don't want that. Yeah, so either way then, I don't know if there's a way to batch convert multiple things. Would be a nice project. Specific, also because Vital is open source. You might be able to just write a converter out of the open source code that is on the internet. Like, because he has to do the conversion as well, right? So maybe you could write a program out of that that would batch convert a whole bunch of different wavetables, yeah. If I had more time, I would look into something like that. Let's maybe move this here. I want a bit of stereo here.
Where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
The problem was not.
I think I'll remove this one actually.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
What might be cool is for this one to have a higher volume on the sub the second time around. Gets a lot more influence from there, right? So this just goes all the way up. strongest distortion.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
The problem was not the physical. The problem was spiritual.
This also comes from Mood Production. This is very cool for bands. Listen to this. Very clean sweeps you get from this. I want to use that. I think what might be cool is to have some sweep down and up in here. Let's then duplicate this over and do it the opposite way. And again, we want to slightly lower these. The track is starting to get very busy, but this is what I wanted here.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
What I'll do here, just to bump up the volume, is to add a little bit of a saturator right to this end bit here. Again, soft clipper off. Let's see what the volumes are. We have 11 and 16. So we go, and then this goes to -11, carrying over the volume so that we go nice and high into the saturator here.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
It's maybe a bit too loud. Let's go slightly lower on that effect.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
Actually, I want to remove this one here.
Was not
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
Wait, I'm starting to get curious. What if we do turn this into a normal synth? Normal octave here. Ooh. I think I like that more. It's less piercing. And works better with the rest.
This is our show where we explore.
Oh, wait. Ooh, that's not good. So this was at 4. Hang on. This should be like this then. Correct? Yeah. But I'm going to turn it down a bit more. Did you see what happened? Because we turned it up by 11, Actually, that means that we did lose all volumes here. Maybe this one is a bit too much.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
The problem was not the physical. The problem was like a spiritual crisis. A spiritual crisis. I can't really describe the anguish of the soul.
Why is this in a group?
You know, you read about the black. Problem was
I don't know.
like a spiritual crisis. A spiritual crisis.
I think I'm done with this part, which was already the main goal for tonight, so we're already ahead of schedule.
I can't really describe the anguish of the soul.
Guess what we'll do is work on the intro after this.
Read about the black naked soul. It was like that.
What I'll do from here is work on the intro. The intro is very bland, and we also need to reuse those elements in this main break here. What I am going to do is take a quick break. break. So I'm going to, sorry, I'm going to put on some different song. Let's see what is interesting to put on. What's something that I haven't? I guess this track here might be interesting. It's at least long enough for me to take a nice break. Oh, this is already mastered for some reason. This is right from the phase where I had a production master into not having a production master. So half of the tracks in this folder are mastered and half of them are not, which is very annoying if you're listening to them on phone, because then you can obviously like have to mess with the volume all the time every time a new track comes on. So yeah, I'll take a quick break, 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'll be right back and we'll get back into the production. For now, here's a nice song for you guys to enjoy. Hello Alex, sorry to say that we're going to a break right now, but it's been 1.5 hours. I need to let my ears rest for a little bit and then I'll be right back. Enjoy the music.
Somebody forces you to think about it and go through and say, there's the middle stage. Then you get beyond that.
publishers first get to claim the copyright. This is now very loud in my ears because it's mastered. Thank you. Track is technically finished, but just like with this track, I'm going to redo a lot of the things that are in there. Oh, I turned off my camera. Still had OBS selected, so when I pressed the spacebar to stop playing, it actually turned off my camera. Either way, the plan for this track is going to be to take the lead that sits in here and to extend that throughout here. The whole break is going to be removed, and that is going to basically put these two drops together, and then the idea is going to be to have a lead that is always going to a moment of crescendo throughout like 3-4 sections. So this would be like a very big hype moment for the track. Some garbage I started a couple of years ago before I even knew song structure. Oh well, it's still a good vocal. You should still consider using it for maybe a new track. I like it. Okay, intro. Intro. Let's see what we have. We have no vocals in here. What's this? Is this the one that's...
Welcome to the human condition. This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
I think I'll leave that in there. I do like that. I don't know if this is the space for it. Maybe if we place it here like this.
Welcome to the human condition. This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
I want to lower the compression on the high end here.
Welcome to the human condition. Welcome to the Welcome to the human condition. This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
Okay, this is slightly out of time.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
Okay. That works a lot better in terms of timing. Do you record all your stuff or only the bass? Well, in this project I have some stuff recorded. I usually don't do stuff like synths. What I like to do is things like pads, all bunch of different atmospheres. You can see all of the different atmospheres that sit in this part. These are all different sounds. So for saving my CPU on the old PC, I recorded them all into one audio track. I would normally not do that anymore. Same is true for like synths in here. This synth here as well is recorded. This is also recorded. I don't know if I want to keep this actually. This makes no sense being there. Now this part's a little bit boring, but we'll worry about that later. Yeah, in terms of recording for this project, I recorded a whole bunch of stuff because of CPU issues, but normally I wouldn't do that. Apart from obviously the bass line, which I record so that I have a nice bass sound. This one I can delete, it's all transient, no longer need for that. But here you can see bass line recorded, on beat and off beat. And the same for here. This is also recorded bass line. And I color code basses that have different keys. It's also important for your organization. right? So this is a different key here. This one goes 2 semitones down.
The problem.
So that's how I record bass lines. I hope that answers questions. That's good enough as an answer. What I want to do is make space here, first of all. These atmospheres are a little bit random. There's a intro pad as well. Like that one more. I want to make space here a lot actually. We have another pad here. It's like a high thing. There's some vocals in here. What am I hearing at the start of the track then? Is that this? Yeah, and there's a bass line. Okay. I like the soundscape that we're building up. I want maybe some leads on top of that. Okay, from here I don't like this part. That sounds strange. So we're just going to keep it without those atmospheres. I think this effect sound is still from the vocal, so now I'm going to use that to transition into here. And what we can do is maybe use some of the leads in here to already give it a little bit more of an aggressive vibe. What I'll think I'll do is use this stab here. Let's see, place that there and here and here. Yeah, you can hear the pitching now very, very well. Maybe not. Maybe that's not what I'm looking for. Let's see. I'm going to open up Omnisphere and we're going to go into idea mode. See if we can find a nice element to sit in here. Drink some more. Actually, shuffle. And then we just go patch by patch until we find something good. This can sometimes be a very long process, finding inspiration like this, but it's it is a very good way to find something that you would have never thought of. Filter in maybe? Yes, that would probably have worked from a technical perspective, but I don't like the style of the leads already in there. It wasn't doing, I wasn't getting the right vibe from it, so even if I were to filter it in, it wasn't the best. Good evening. Thank you for sticking by, and see you in the next one. Don't know what I'm going to do with something like that. Ooh. What if I... starting from like here, do every Or maybe you filtered this in. Maybe that is something that sounds cool. Obviously it's too loud now. We'll normalize this. Actually, let's normalize it here. And we go minus 14. This is much more the kind of theming element that I'm after in the intro. Let's actually connect this, because that allows me to edit it a little bit easier. What would be cool is maybe to go like this. Can make these a bit longer, I think. That way we can see them on the timeline. I hope that doesn't impact the sound too much, but I don't think it will. Perfect. Go back to the root node here. From here I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's try this. Here to 5. Let's have that ring out a little bit longer. Okay, so that doesn't resolve nicely. It does, but not in the way that I want it to. 5. These last notes are a little bit too short. Let's see. I don't want to start again there, if that's possible. But maybe this is the best way to do it. In terms of spacing, I do like that a bit more. Okay. I want to have this here, and then I'll just have these lowest 2 notes here. Right, is that lined up? No. Here's an idea. Go to the fifth, 7th, whatever it is, the perfect 5th, but an octave below, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is using Wavetable packs for site cheating? Define cheating. You're trying to make music, not. It's not a competition of sound design, it's a competition of creativity. And if you believe that you can get the best kind of sounds from even presets, then it's not cheating. Right? This sound is a preset. It's just a preset that I loaded up and I increased the release slightly. Would that then also be considered cheating? No, because I use it in my own way and I create my own melody, I create my own idea here, and that's the important bit. Same with my kick drum. A lot of people make their own kick drums. I don't, I use samples. This is one of my own samples, but okay. There's no cheating in music production. At the end of the day, what you're trying to do is create a product, and however you want to create that product is up to you. As long as people enjoy it. Okay, a little bit intense still coming into this. So I want this a little bit lower. Yeah, even big artists do it. Yeah, of course. Everybody does it. Because it's easier. Okay, so I like how we're going in here very nice and calm into this plug, and now it starts to become a little bit more intense. Okay, so this note is a bit too high. Let's try here. I like that. What might be cool is to try and use this in a drop somewhere.
Welcome to the human condition. This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
Wait. Maybe not always for everything, but there's always a mix. Yeah. When it comes to sound design, personally I like to make things myself. Sometimes I have an idea and I just quickly want to throw something in like this. A plug like this I can never sound design. So I'll have that come up like we did here, just kind of scrolling random presets. But also sometimes my sound design is just me opening up the tone spec and adding a bit of release to one of these. Right, like this. This is sometimes sound design for me, so that I can get an idea out. Right, because at the end of the day, all you're really judged on is the ideas that sit in your track and the way that you mix them together. Those are the two different things. The production side is all of the ideas that you have, and the mixing side is how you mix things together. Who makes his own kicks is crazy. Well, you have a lot of benefit in being able to control the very, very, very small details. But I have a few different things that I can do with my kicks as sample format that give me the control that I need to be able to have my kicks sound decent. Obviously, if you spend time making kicks for each track, they're going to come out better in the end. But you're losing a lot of time making your kick drums, which is a trade-off. Is the distortion coming from the echo? Yes, this echo saturates. Do you remember that we found that out? Unless there is no saturation on here, nothing. So it's the echo that saturates. Let's see if we can find a clean delay with... actually I want a normal delay from Melda. Just the standard Melda delay. Oh, which is this? Yeah. Is the key of the kick important or more the bass? Obviously the key of the bass is very important. When it comes to the kick of, or the key of the kick, what I think people misunderstand is that you need to tune your kick exactly to the key of your track. And there's a lot to gain by not doing that. In terms of spacing, right, between the kick and the bass, you have a little bit more of a frequency separation in general. Also, what you want is to find out the tonality of your kick, if that matches. So what might happen is that this is a sine wave and it pitches down from here to there. So there's no real stable pitch in here, but it does seem to converge on some kind of pitch which we call the root note of the kick, even though here it's still pitching down. Unless you specifically make your kicks not to do that. What is important is that once you get into your bassline part here, that it isn't a sudden jump in pitch. Also, I see that I need to clean up this kick. Give me 2 seconds before I forget doing this. Yeah, what is important about... Hey, I might have actually used this sound before. Either way, what is important is that the key here is there's no sudden jump, right? So what I like to do is just fade it out, and like we're doing here, that works. But I would disagree with Iconic that you definitely don't want to match the key of the kick and the bass. That's not your end goal. You want to look at tonality, because at the end of the day, all a kick is a sine wave pitching down, so there's no stable pitch to begin with. A kick technically doesn't have a key. We just assign it a key because it ends, the sweep ends somewhere. But if you were to cut it off earlier, then the sweep would end earlier, and if you were to cut it off later, it would end later. That's my opinion, by the way, so you can do with that whatever you want. Current project, I need to go to consolidate, right? Kick. I think this is it. Yep, there we are. Perfect. It's kind of like what deadmau5 said, right? The kick is a transient with, in Psytrance's case, a lot of sub in there, but usually very little sub. So talking about the key of the kick doesn't make as much sense as focusing a little bit more time on the bass line and just the tonal, like the tonal synergy between the kick and the bass. Is how I would approach it. That's what I find important. Like this kick, I didn't specifically choose it or pitch it in a way that matches the bass line in key. I just look for the tonal similarities. And I'm at the point where I never pitch a kick anymore. Like very, very rarely. Like I can go in here and choose from 40 different kick samples. There's bound to be one of them that will fit whatever bass line that I'm going for. And if it's not in here, then I can go to one of these packs. This one, the Black Octopus one is good. The Ultimate Psytrance sound is good, but these sometimes need a little bit of cleaning. Sometimes a bit of distortion, a bit of glitchiness in there. I always thought it went off the transient for some reason. Hello, Cider. No, I wouldn't. No. Yeah, no, the transient does not determine the key of anything. That's way too much high end to be able to determine the transient. What you could say is that you can tune it by ear on the transient and have the transient of the kick tonally match the transient of the bass. That's an approach, but then you need to be careful with your sub, that your sub isn't too low and too high. Why didn't I get a message about this stream? Next time I'll send it to you personally, okay? No, that was a message in Discord. I also like to layer 3 kicks and glue them together, so I'm probably not the person to talk to about this. Yeah, no, probably not. Oh, yeah, the YouTube message. Oh, that can be because there's 2 types of bell notifications. There's personalized and then there's all. If you have set it to all, then you should get everything. I got it on my phone, so that should be good. If you set it to personalized, it might skip over things if YouTube thinks that you're not interested. You have it on all. That's very, very strange. Very strange. Thanks for this, guys. I don't want to interrupt with the basic. I was watching so many vids, different options everywhere. Yes, yes. Obviously, I'm not explaining it super well. If you give me more time, then I can like prepare examples and show you the technical know-how. So, stuff, it can get very technical and very complicated, and there's a lot of edge cases as well, right? Like sometimes you might be making a baseline where your separation is much less. You might be in the group of people who do not remove the fundamental of their baseline on the baseline that plays with the kick. So I remove the lowest harmonic from my baseline so that it doesn't clash with the sub of my kick, which allows me to do a whole bunch of other different ways of alignment and stuff like that, which I also still need to do here. This seems to be not perfectly aligned, I would say. It's more terrible than perfect, actually. But if you're the kind of person, the majority of sidetrans producers will not do this, will not take this step, because it sounds unnatural. And phase alignment is the kind of standard technique that everybody has been taught. Personally, I think it sounds great, but I see a lot of people still sticking with traditional ways of doing things. But if you do it in the traditional way, what you need to do is make sure that there's some kind of alignment between the sub bass that's in here and the sub bass that's in here. Otherwise, you're going to have issues. Distortions isn't bad in Psycore. No, that's true. Yeah, hard to argue with that. 'Why is it not ping-ponging then? %100% to the right. I want this 1/4, right? That's the timing we had, yes. 1/4 dotted. Bum bum. Maybe go 8 bars before bringing the bell back in. Yeah, I'm just placing it in here. Maybe I'll remove some of the notes at the start. I don't want to go too far, because otherwise we get in the territory of this lead here, and this is already getting more synthesis based. I just wanted to return. For some reason I don't get the sounds that I want from this. Let's try it again. Enable, we want 1/8 dotted. And then we want you to ping pong. Do we need to set an offset then? If I do like this. Yes, and then I set to 1/2 because this changes. Exactly. What I'll probably end up doing is this, 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 and this. This gives me a little bit of space to put another element in here. I do like the sound of that.
Lost in thought. That's the human condition.
Let's sometimes you need to slightly help the automatic gain compensation, but 90% of the time it's very, very good in the mellow setting. I think this sounds nice. Like that. Just have it a few times, because you already forget it here, right? Let's wait a little bit. Let's hear the distance between this and this. We have a vocal in there which is going to grab attention.
Welcome to the human condition. This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
Lost in thought. That's the human condition.
Okay. So what I want to do is reverse reverb into this sound. That's why I removed this sound from there, so to make a little bit of space. So this is going to be that. Oh, no delay. We just need 2 bars of that because that's the time that we have. I will take out the note itself and then just reverse into this. Kind of like an announcement, right? Okay, let's normalize this. So that's minus 15 on that. I'll probably go minus 18-ish just to get a little bit of a volume difference between the thing itself and the reverb.
Aspect of what it means to be human.
And then I want to see how this is doing. Ah, this is doing the volume. Okay, let's have that do the volume right here. Can have that go a little bit higher and then back to wherever it needed to go. Still, the mix is temporary, so
Lost in
don't really care, but it's nice to have an at least functioning production mix. Let's duplicate this over here. Do we have this on modulation? Yes. Then we can go down here. That sounds nice. What I want to do for this one is see how it sounds without the pitch wheel. Bit boring. What am I doing here? Okay, so basic FM setup in Faceplant, right? A whole bunch of different FMs happening to each other, and then I assume it's just, oh, it's actually multiple on the main oscillator, and then a few between themselves. Okay, so let's add a phaser. Go low depth, and I guess we can use the same macro here just to add a little bit of interest. That's already better, but I'm lacking the gritty high end. What I want to do for that is set this to fold back first of all. Get a nice high drive in there. Have this go up more. Okay, now let's really bring out this part here. Probably lower the master a little bit. Still, I also have an output here which I can use. Let's see there. Still a little bit high. You always want to gain states in these cases, because it's a good practice.
Lost in thought. That's the human condition.
And then here in this case, I guess what I'll do is have this be the impact.
Lost in thought.
Right? Oh, I need to modify a lot more then. Yes. You and you. Actually, no, this one. Let's leave those high. Might be cool to do something like this. Little bit of an extra wobble in there.
Lost in thought. That's the human condition.
I don't think the flute mix nice with the bell sound.
Lost in thought. That's the human condition.
And now this one is the impact and this one is the sweep. what this sound is. Oh, we have a sweep. I don't like not being able to hear this one in here. So I'm probably gonna go with this one.
You may be having a spiritual awakening.
Turn down this reverb.
You may be having a spiritual awakening.
This feels strange, it's because it's 1.5 bars long. Which sounds weird, but it really shakes up the track, I think. Like, have a listen.
You may be having a spiritual awakening.
Kind of makes sense, but not really, right? Maybe I'm going to change it. Maybe I, at some point, listen to this and I'm like, wait, that doesn't work. Because technically it doesn't. Snare is a bit too loud. Maybe, yeah. Yeah. Maybe. The point of this part of the track, this part of the mix, is not to get all of the loudnesses and all of the things right. The point is to get them close enough that I don't find them annoying while I'm producing. Because I'm going to do the mix again. Right? I'm going to at some point export all of these tracks and just mix them well in Reaper. So all of those small details, you're right in noticing that the snare is probably a little bit on the loud side. I don't care enough in the sense that it doesn't bother me while I'm producing currently the level of the snare. If you point it out to me like this and you say it like that in the chat, then if I listen for it, then I'll probably agree with you. But actually, no, I do agree with you. I should say it like that. I do agree with you that now that I listen to it and you point it out, the snare is a little bit too loud. Maybe especially here. Also the hi-hat in that case. But here, yeah, we couldn't glue this at all a little bit more together at some point in terms of the drum loop. But I am going to do all of the mixes again at some point. So it's not that big of an issue if something is 1 or 2 dB too loud or too quiet or something like that. Because at the end of the day, what I'm going to do is I'm going to normalize each of the tracks to 0 while I'm exporting it. And then I'm going to redo the volume mix from scratch. So it's not like I need to have it already exactly how I want it to. Either way. I want to listen again to see if there's anything that bothers me in, well, this whole part, actually. And then we can move on to here. I like having parts where there's no other synths in there, where it's just this one synth kind of opening up over time. Maybe it's a little bit too empty though, so we could add some effects or something like that.
Welcome to the human condition. This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
bit of a stutter. I want to this area here. Now this is the kind of thing that I do fix, like an EQ thing like this, where it's a very big EQ boost where I'm actually changing the tone. I did not like how it sounded here. Also it snaps, which is not good practice. Now it's much more of an upswelling sweep. This is a production kind of EQ, right? Where you're minus 12 dB at some point. It's part of the sound design. Mixing is all about adding 5 dB here, removing 2 dB there, sometimes even half a dB in terms of like EQ bands.
You may be having a spiritual awakening.
Here's a little bit of a radical idea. Maybe. I like these synths sitting here in the fill. I also like this synth sitting here in the fill. But this one comes in too late to be such an important fill element. Right? It only comes in once in this whole drop, and then we don't see it again up until here where I start heavily using it. So what I suggest we do is move this here, move this here, and then have this one in all of these fills here, so that this becomes a more prominent element of the track. It's also a little bit less aggressive. We still have this synth sound in there, doing its thing, which I like.
You may be having a spiritual awakening.
And then we get that. I think that sounds a lot nicer. And then we do have one synth layering in here. Or maybe I won't even have that. Maybe just this one.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
I want to see the waveform here. Maybe I'm doing
Was not
it a little bit too much with that saturation.
problem was spirit.
Here, let's see. Again, here I now again hear an element that I would turn down. For now, Amen, I'll finish that in the mix itself.
This is our show where we explore every aspect of what it means to be human.
That might be a bit very loud here. We can probably regain some energy here and here. Just 1 dB or 2 dB everywhere, and I'll take 2 dB of the leads. I like the offbeat part. Can you show your bassline maybe? Yes, 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 yes. There are some interesting things happening here. I like those questions. Let's look at the sound design, what I'm doing. This is the bass patch that I'm using. The idea behind this bass patch is that this is a preparational patch for what I'm doing in M freeform phase. So you guys know that I've been experimenting with M freeform phase, and that I do my bass lines with M freeform phase now with the depth control for all of my phasing, which allows me to be more in depth, and all of the phasing is all relative to each other. If you're setting filter points, then you maybe mess up 2 filter points and then it doesn't sound as clean. So this results in very clean phasing on your baseline. So the idea was, I want to give my transient a little bit of extra space, the transient coming from this first click when the note first starts playing. So what I did was I went in my saw wave, removed the fundamental, and then added the fundamental in on its own oscillator here with a different phase. This phase doesn't really matter. You might say it's going to click here. Can you show the phase editor of your saw as well? Phase is all normal. This is normal phase from the basic saw wave that comes in Serum. Either way, so I can set my phase here by ear. I need to make sure that I don't move it actually, but it doesn't matter that here the phase is set in such a way that it would suddenly snap, right? Because we have 2 different volumes here. This is volume for my normal oscillator. This is the volume for my sine wave. And you can see we are fading in anyway, right? Over 1/4 of a 16th of a note. Then here I have this going to the filter cutoff. I'm doing some magic here with this dimension. No, with this detune here. Again, this detune is set in a very specific way. It is set in such a way that you can see we have our waveform here. This is our first main transient. This is our second one. You can see the detune is set in such a way that there's transient halfway and then a little bit before. So it's a little bit shorter than half the length between this cycle and this cycle in terms of tuning that thing here. Gives it a very warm feeling. And I like the feeling that I was getting from that. So that's the patch, right? It goes through one filter. It actually goes through just that one filter. We have a chorus on there. We have this mix on here. And then I think I was using the other filter at some point, but I took that off. There's some asymmetrical distortion. Again, I want asymmetrical distortion because asymmetrical distortion introduces both odd and even harmonics, which means that we get saw wave series and not square wave series. Otherwise your saw wave baseline is going to sound like square. So make sure that you have some kind of asymmetrical distortion. What asymmetrical distortion means is that the top of the distortion curve is different from the bottom. It looks different, right? So from there, M freeform phase set by ear and by eye. You can look at this. This might not be in the right key for it now. I maybe need to give me a sec. Yeah, like that. Because obviously I looked at this in the root note here. Allow me to line this up. Here. You can see without M freeform phase, looks terrible. What I did was I set the amount of phasing that I wanted. This one is set -90, this one is set at 90. In the original tutorial I used 360 and -360. The less that you use, the more control, the more range you have on the depth knob basically. Doesn't matter where you set it. What matters is that wherever you set it, this is the exact opposite positively, right? The high one always positive, the low one always negative. All the way around doesn't work. I tested it. You always want it in this configuration. And you want these two numbers to be the same. It also doesn't have to be exactly 90. You can go even lower and higher. What is important is that you realize that setting this higher and this one higher is the same as just increasing the depth. What having very small range like this allows you to do is it allows you to be more precise because you have a more range in the depth control itself. So that's the reasoning behind that. I have to say that This phase here, which I set to this particular position, was set after I did the phasing. So that's important as well, that you don't say, and oh, I first do set up this patch here, and then I set up my phasing, and then I don't go back into the patch to check where that sine wave exactly needs to be. Other than that, quite an aggressive EQ here, actually. Kind of surprised by that, but I do kind of want the brightness sound of that. We can hear what the different components do as well. So this really brings that nice grit in here. That octave kind of feeling that you hear is from the hyper. The hyper is set at 15. If I set that at 0, that's the octave, the octave effect that we get here, right? It introduces this little bit here. That's all it does. We can see that here if I move some things around. Just adds a little bit of extra grit in there. The other thing is the chorus. Chorus is set to high pass filter mode. Normally it's set to low pass. Again, it's a static chorus, so no rate, no depth. Very small differences in delay here. Little bit of feedback, and crucially it closes with the filter. Same with the dimension. And then there's a compressor on there, which barely does anything. You can ignore this compressor. Like really, that compressors like that don't matter at this point in sound design. So ignore that compressor. Don't know if you need more time to copy sample or copy settings. If you really want to do that, then go ahead. I will skip through it. Other thing, I'll show you my matrix as well. Yeah, from here you should be able to pause the live stream at any point and check the settings. You can ignore this compressor. So these would be the settings to copy if you're interested. And then obviously recorded, this is A sharp, this is G sharp, and then we have B here. That's all there is to it.
The problem was not the physical. The problem was spiritual crisis energy, the spiritual crisis. I can't really describe the anguish of the soul. You know, you read about the black-netted soul. It was like that.
Very danceable part.
Lost in thought. That's the human condition.
Do you have any tips for making dark/spooky psytrance? Yes. What you want to do is make use of the Frisian key, which is a normal minor key, but with the second note shifted down a semitone. Where do I have MIDI? Here. Please select the time span that you would like to. Oh wait, there's a group. Here. Let me just draw something. If I go and layer out my minor by going from A to A like this, then the Frisian is this. And this is a very spooky sounding scale. Obviously it doesn't play anything for whatever reason. That's first tip. Second tip is do what I did before with the plug. Do you remember how we found the plug? This one. the main plug, the bell. Look for sounds like in this way. And specifically, if you want a good synth for this, and when it comes to like spooky atmospheres, I recommend M-Power Synth, because in M-Power Synth you can randomize the whole synth like this, and this will get you very weird sounds. Usually not usable, but sometimes you get stuff like this. This is already spooky if you play it. So this is the effect of a Frisian key, right? I can do random again. Takes a little bit of time. Don't you dare fucking crash. I haven't saved in 2 hours. Control S. Now. Now. Let's see what it got us. Give it a little bit of time to save. Here again. In this case, completely unusable. Right? We'll go to next. This with a bunch of effects. This is how I made the spooky part in one of the tracks that's on the album, Dark Times. To give you an example of what this technique specifically with M-Power Synth result in, I'll go, where is my, here. This is what I got out of that technique last time I used it. This together with like a nice vocal. All of these atmospheres here. I put a little choir in there. Is this the final master, by the way? Is this what I... No. Aha. I was getting a little bit scared. If this was my final master for the stuff that I was uploading, then there's something not going to plan here. Let me get the actual master. Final master, this one. There we are. That sounded a lot better at the end in the mix, I think. Right, nice big atmosphere kind of stuff. All of that comes from Power Synth. That little whistle in there as well. Sounds very, very nice. There's probably other synths that do that in the same way, but M-Power Synth, for some reason, like you click 3 times and it has at least once produced a nice spooky atmosphere. Other than that, Foley sounds. Right, the recordings of people walking in the forest, stuff like that always helps. And good theming, good vocal theming, in the sense that you're building, if you want to have something sound really spooky, you need to build up that theme for the listener to do that. Either through the sounds that you're using being spooky, but also you could do that by looking into spoken words that talk about something that has to do with the spookiness of your theme. Or you can sample horror movies. That might be a good idea. To be honest, I only now noticed that you gave me a reference track. I'm not going to listen to that on stream, because of copyright. What I think I'll do for now, seeing as we're pushing 3 hours and I actually have to edit some shorts, because otherwise tomorrow you guys don't have any content. I'm going to finish the stream here. I'm going to call it quits for today. I want to thank you all for coming. We had an amazing, according to my graph here, there were 16 people here at one time. I don't know if that's exactly true, but that's nice, because obviously there was unplanned, unprepped stream, and a day later than I usually stream. So this candy is really hard. For some reason this one candy in the set was unable to be chewed. Anyway, thank you guys for being here, for joining me in this evening stream. I might do another one during the week. I hope that I can get back next week on Sunday to the regular scheduled streams. Those are always fun. But I'll have to see how it goes. I'm 90% sure that next week I'll be okay. Either way, thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Also tomorrow, video, right? Long format video, if I remember correctly. Yes. So tomorrow, 12:30, back here on the channel to watch some long content stuff. See you.